What's up? This your boy Smed Malak Yahawadha, owner of Gold for Your Mouth, Delivery Kings, T-Shirt Kings, and coach of the Dayton Swish. And you tuned in to MMG TV. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen. God damn it!
I was born Dayton, Ohio. I grew up until I was about 5 or 6 years old in Rolling Circle. And I always play. I was born like the street I went to was King's Highway. And so I always felt like that was appropriate for me because I think of myself as at least a counselor and moving up the scale to one day hopefully be a king at least of my own domain. So I went to Fairview Elementary, middle school, went on to Patterson High School, stayed there for 2 years, then went to Meadowdale. Before I graduated, I was actually expelled my senior year for having a pager, of all things. Pagers back then was hot, wasn't no cell phones out really like that. So after I did that, I got expelled. I did go on to get my GED a couple of years later. That's pretty much it. I mean, as far as just growing up, man, I had a decent childhood. I always lived in the house. I lost my mother and my father when I was 11 years old. My mom died August the 11th, and then my father passed away like less than 2 months later, October the 1st of 1986. After that happened, my brother and my sister, we had the same mother but a different father. So I moved in with them and their father after my father passed away, and I was raised in that household. Him, his wife, his wife had a son who became my brother, and I grew up in a family, a mother and a father in the household the whole time, and that's pretty much about my childhood. Losing my parents was very traumatic for me. But the way that I look at it like, I kind of lost them, but then I gained them in another dimension, in another way, where they could just kind of protect me and guide me through different situations where if they was here physically, they may not be able to, do some of the things they did for me while they're not here. And that's my belief. Before my mom and my dad passed away, even as a youngster, maybe like 9, 10 years old, I cut grass. I literally had clients that would call me if I didn't show up and say, "Hey bro, you gonna come through and cut the grass?" And I would go and take care of that. And from there on, I think I always figured out that I could make money on my own, even if I didn't have a job. Having a job was important. I worked at Nova Romans. I worked at Flyers Chicken. I worked at a couple of factories, but pretty much after I turned 19 or 20, I was done working for people. I haven't had a job since I've been 20 years old. I'm 37 now, and I've always been interested in music. I rapped for a while. I came out with our own CD, and this was, like right now it's real easy to come out with your CD, but back when I did it, I think that not so many people had done it, so we were still trying to figure out how to do it. But we did that. Ohio Coalition, that was my group. We went to the studio, made our project, got it packaged up right, got out here, we sold it. We did that for a while, and that kind of eased me in onto having my own business, Dash Communications, which changed to Gold for Your Mouth, and then everything we see today. The way that I got my store was definitely just a blessing. There's no other explanation for it whatsoever. I didn't have any money. I have no education in business. formal education in business in order to say, okay, man, I plan this out. I never planned to have a business whatsoever. I did have a vision to think that I was special in some kind of way. I always thought that me losing my parents, I just kind of felt like God really loved me. As crazy as that might sound, like I lost my parents, but I felt like He loved me a whole lot, and He was going to look out for me. Kind of because He took my parents away. In my mind, that's how I think I felt. And so I always thought that I was going to have some level of achievement that would be high. And even like right now, I'm still working on my biggest vision of myself, but I never planned on having a business. I started working at Dash Communication for a man named Mr. Rucker. Mr. Rucker was great. I used to go in there and buy my cell phone cards and stuff. I bought my first cell phone from him. And just through me going to his store, we built a relationship. He bought my CDs and stuff. And I used to always go in there and I would see them watching TV while they was working. And I always felt like that would be a good job for me, just to be able to sit down, not stand up for 8 hours, and watch TV while I work. I hate standing up at work. I used to quit jobs, period. Like working at temporary services, going to factories, doing like that. It wouldn't necessarily be hard labor. It was just standing up the whole time. I really hated it. So when I used to go get my phone cards, I used to tell Mr. Rucker, like, listen, man, you ever need any help, come in here. I mean, if you ever need any help, call me. I want to work here. I want to work here. I want to work here. And he promised me a job. And so he ended up making good on his promise. Somebody had got killed in Dash Communications. This was in 1998. And when that happened, somebody tried to rob the store. Mr. Rucker shot him. They turned around and shot a girl after they had got hit, and she passed away. And when she did, like a few days after Mr. Rucker, the police wanted to talk to him because he was on parole or probation or something. Well, anyway, he told me to come to work like right before they locked him up. So like one day he said, start tomorrow. By the time I got to work that next day, the police had came and took Mr. Rucker to jail. But he called from jail and told me that he still wanted me to start. And so I just got in there and I started working. I did the best that I could for him. I really, really loved working at Dash Communications. I mean, my dream, as short-sighted as it was, came true. To be able to work at a place where I could just kind of cool out, help people, watch a little TV, and then, work in a rolling environment. And it was nice. It was really, really good. And Mr. Rucker trusted me. And it was just kind of like I did more than what was expected out of me there because I really loved the job. And like I said, somebody had just got killed up there, and his daughter was kind of running the place. And she was a little nervous about being up there, rightfully so. And so she was just ready to close the whole place down. She couldn't run it. Mr. Rucker was in jail. He had a son that was working up there, but he was just he was really young. So, he was doing some things that was immature. But he didn't ask to be put in that position. He up there trying to help his dad. So, they was getting ready to close the store down. And instead of them closing it, I asked them to let me have this store. Now, these are not my family. These are not nobody. I mean, to me like that. I mean, we was really close and we all really loved each other. But, I had only been working there maybe like 3 or 4 months. They was getting ready to close it down. I said, don't close it. Let me have it. And they said, okay. And that's how I got my store. Like I said, I didn't have any money whatsoever. I was working there. I took my first paycheck. They gave me the store and paid me for the last week that I was working there. Like all in the same time. I took $300. I bought some phone cards because that was what was rolling at the time. I could spend $300, maybe get like 10 phone cards, sell them for $36 each. And then we was doing phone activations, and I looked up, man, and it was like 2 or 3 days later, and I had like $800, $900 just from just working and moving, because it was a rolling store. They gave me a rolling store, not some startup business. This business had already been jumping. I'm talking about line out the door. So when I say I got my store on a blessing, now you see why. Because I literally had no money to buy it. And I didn't start some business from the ground up and made it roll. They gave me a rolling business, and what I told them was, I said, well, I'll sublease it. You know, basically, I'm gonna pay you guys rent to be in this place, but the money that comes here is, would be mine. It would be my business. And it worked out, and Mr. Rucker got out of jail, and he never came and asked me for the store back, and he used to come up there and just sit with me and mentor me and just give me advice and just share information with me. And Mr. Rucker is a straight angel. He changed my life forever. He passed away now, and if he didn't do anything, he really, really, really changed my life, and got my footing together for me to be able to just do positive things and just let all my other creativity be able to manifest from just having a job that I could do, that I really loved, and give me the free time and the creativity to promote it. Say, hey man, listen, pressure does two things, man. It can bust pipes or it can make a diamond. And all of us are diamonds, so pressure makes us. Pressure makes us, and the more pressure, the stronger the diamond, the bigger the diamond, the more valuable the diamond.